Rest of the news Tuesday. Birthday of Wavy Gravy, real name Hugh Romney, but he goes by Gravy, initial W. The New York Times lists his occupation as cultural icon. It was B.B. King who for some reason first called the clown at the 1969 Texas International Pop Festival Wavy Gravy. He was exhausted all day. He'd been trying to get everybody to put their clothes back on. Also today, a New York Times editorial asks, end of the affair? About investors falling out of love with stocks because they just don't trust the market anymore. This week, Wall Street may value Facebook as high as $100 billion, more than Ford, more than Kraft. No wonder a new poll says half of Americans think that's too much. Also, half of Americans call Facebook just a fad. We love our fads, though. There's a new record for riding a big wave, a 78-foot wave off the coast of Portugal, now recognized by Guinness. Garrett McNamara of Hawaii rode the tallest wave ever known to have been ridden. There's an underwater canyon off Portugal famous for being the world's biggest wave generator. That day, McNamara wasn't going surfing, but a friend said, "Hey, let's go catch some waves." Garrett knew it was big, but he didn't know how big. Then everything just came together. Everything felt right, he said. But now, he says, I'm not sure I want to ride that peak again. iPads are a big hit with orangutans on Jungle Island at the Miami Zoo. They love to draw and play games, even work on their vocabulary skills. Actually, several zoos have computer programs for primates. And it's very much like with people. The old folks tend to not be so interested like the young ones do. Those teenage orangutans just love their iPads. The program is called Apps for Apes. Gawker headlines. You won't have Ron Paul to kick around anymore. Washington Post headlines. Paul stops spending money but doesn't stop campaigning. Ron Paul is now using an unorthodox strategy of seeking his delegates at the state party conventions and skipping those expensive primaries. Just last week, he had a couple of his biggest wins yet in Nevada and in Maine. For the California June 5th primary, 2,000 volunteers continue to man phone banks and knock on doors in support of their man, Ron Paul. There was a big brouhaha last weekend over Cher making some late-night tweets to the effect that she most definitely is not a Mitt Romney supporter, and it's cost her half her fan base, which doesn't sound realistic, and she tweets back, "Thank God I got the half that thinks," on and on. Well, now Donald Trump just had to go get all in it on Fox, called Cher miserable, somewhat of a loser, and he compared her to Rosie O'Donnell. Cher? Hey, a couple of ladies, both with canes, were sitting together on a park bench or waiting for a bus, something. And a black and white image posted on Facebook. One says to the other, "Francis, all this fuss over same-sex marriage, I don't see what the big deal is. Harvey and I have been having the same sex for 54 years. Posted on Twitter. You can follow every day at Dan Earhart, DANEARHART. See ya tomorrow with the rest of the news.com.